You've probably seen his face. You've probably heard he was stabbed by his own senators. But here's the real question. Why does Julius Caesar actually matter? Because he didn't just conquer land and win battles. He exposed a fatal weakness at the heart of Rome itself, one that would eventually end the Republic entirely. And by the end of this, you'll understand why his name is still used as a title for kings 2,000 years later. For centuries before Caesar, Rome was a republic. Elected officials, a senate, power deliberately spread across competing elites so no single man could dominate. But by Caesar's lifetime, that system was already buckling under its own success. Rome had exploded from a city into a Mediterranean superpower, its armies conquering vast territories, its population surging, and ambitious generals had discovered something dangerous. A loyal army could make a politician nearly untouchable. Caesar understood that better than anyone alive. Caesar's rise wasn't built on politics alone. It was built on war. Between 58 and 50 BC, he led Rome's brutal campaigns across Gaul, roughly modern France and Belgium, expanding Roman territory dramatically. But here's what mattered even more than the land. His soldiers became personally loyal to him, not just to Rome, and that loyalty would soon become the most dangerous weapon in Roman politics. Before we go further, if this kind of history genuinely interests you, hit subscribe so you catch what's next. By 49 BC, tensions with his rivals in Rome reached a breaking point. The Senate ordered Caesar to give up his command and return without his army. He refused and crossed the Rubicon River with his troops instead, a deliberate act of rebellion. It triggered civil war against his former ally, Pompey. Caesar won. And in doing so, he proved something that should have been impossible. A general could defeat the very political system that had given him power in the first place. After defeating his enemies, Caesar became extraordinarily powerful. But here's the twist. He didn't simply crown himself king. He accumulated titles and offices instead, eventually becoming dictator for life, which terrified senators who remembered Rome's ancient hatred of kingship. But at the same time, he was genuinely reforming the state, reorganizing the calendar, settling veterans, expanding citizenship, funding public works. He wasn't simply a destroyer, he was a reformer too, and that's exactly what makes his legacy so complicated. One of those reforms still shapes your life today. Rome's calendar had drifted badly out of sync with the seasons, so Caesar, working with the astronomer Sosigenes, introduced the Julian calendar in 46 BC, reorganized around the solar year and far more accurate than what came before. It stayed influential for centuries. Even now, you carry a trace of Caesar's legacy every single time you check a calendar, because one month is still named after him, July. But the more powerful Caesar became, the more Rome feared what would happen if he stayed in control. A conspiracy formed, including men Caesar had personally pardoned. On March 15, 44 BC, the Ides of March, they surrounded him in the Senate and struck. Caesar was stabbed repeatedly. Rome's most powerful man was dead. And here's the part almost nobody expects. His assassination didn't save the Republic. It did nearly the opposite. The conspirators believed killing Caesar would restore the Republic. Instead, it created an even bigger power vacuum. His furious supporters, his still loyal soldiers, and a young heir named Octavian all entered the fight. Years of conflict followed. Antony, Octavian, Lepidus, Brutus, Cassius, Cleopatra, all tearing at what remained of Rome. By 27 BC, Octavian emerged victorious as Augustus. The Republic had outlived Caesar's murder by only a handful of years. Here's the detail people often get wrong. Caesar was never actually Rome's first emperor. That title belongs to Augustus. But Caesar's name became so powerful it outlived the man entirely. Future rulers borrowed it as a title for imperial authority itself. Caesar, Kaiser, Tsar. A single family name, echoing across languages and centuries, becoming permanently synonymous with absolute power. If this changed how you see Caesar, subscribe and share it with someone who'd find it just as fascinating. So why did Caesar actually matter? Not simply because he conquered Gaul, not because he was assassinated. Caesar mattered because he exposed the fatal flaw sitting at the heart of the Roman Republic, a system built to stop one man from becoming too powerful, sitting right beside an army that could make exactly that possible. Once he crossed the Rubicon, the old rules of Rome were never quite the same again. He didn't live to see the empire his actions helped create. But within a single generation, Rome had stopped being a republic in everything but name.